much to do with the topic we touched on today, but
Okay, although any topic you want. Go ahead.
yeah. So what about the like making blessings where there's like ducks around or cats? Are we allowed to? I heard that we're forbidden to making blessings close to them, but I don't know how far do we have to be from them in order to make a blessing.
From ducks, from cats?
Dogs and cats, yeah, like pets, essentially.
Dogs and cats. Okay, so there is no problem whatsoever to making blessing in front of the dogs and cats, and you're not obligated to distance from them any distance. The only thing, if they went to a bathroom, that's from that excrement you have to distance yourself. If it's fresh, yeah. Understand? If it has some smell. So in order to make blessing, it should be like clean environment. Like even like for example, if somebody have a garbage, and sometimes I see like people throw out the garbage and have this huge bag of garbage. Like, and there are only few people living in an apartment, like 2 or 3 people. Like, I'm not sure how long they collect this garbage, maybe for a few weeks. I don't know. So for sure it smells there, for sure. So we trying to use smaller bags and try to throw garbage as often as possible, not to keep it in the house. Why should we collect? You understand? But if somebody have a lot of garbage, so it might smell, especially in the summer. It will smell. So you're not allowed to pray there, or you're not allowed to say blessing next to this garbage, right? Bad smell, any bad smell. If there's bad smell, it comes from the bathroom. So you have to close the door. You have to close the door, and the halacha is you have to separate yourself 4 cubits. 4 cubits, it's approximately 7.5 feet, approximately. It's less than 2 meters less, right? From the place when the smell stops. When it stops, right? Odor smell, and then you have to calculate the 7.5 feet, and only then you're allowed to pray. And the reason, just to explain, why the excrement, when cats and dogs were used as an example, so because their excrement are very offensive, like a very offensive smell. Right? Not in all of the animals. For example, in chicken also. So if somebody went ever to chicken coop, it's like, whoa! Like I went once, I almost lost my consciousness. It was so offensive, and not too many chickens. I don't know how people work there. I'm not sure in that environment. So right. So in this case, you would not be allowed to say the blessing, and plus if somebody is not appropriately dressed, for example, for women, even if it's a person's wife. So if his wife, right, and her hair is not covered, so you're not allowed to say the blessing. Or of course you have to turn away. There is no problem. So don't drive your wife crazy. Just turn sideways, and that's it. You can say the blessing. Or if she has a short sleeve, there is no problem. She can walk in short sleeve in the house, right? If she does not go outside, or skirt like short, I don't know, whatever, in the pants, whatever she wears, like in the house, it would be allowed, right? But like outside, of course not. But you're not allowed to say the blessing next to your wife, and needless to say, all other women. So this problem arises when people have guests on Shabbos, and they need to say Kiddush, and now this clowness, who we actually ask 3 times to dress appropriately, right, to come with clothing right, and head cover or something. Of course, sometimes they listen, sometimes they forget, accidentally on purpose, as Rabbi Shlita says, right? So, and the person, the head of the house, has this dilemma. So I need to say the Kiddush, but I cannot. It's the Devar B'Kiddusha, right? It's words of the holiness, right? I cannot say Kiddush and look at this girl or this lady, right? So I have to pretend that I cannot see very well, and I just cover my face with a book, right? Or close my eyes. If you know by heart, it's even better, right? Or turn away. So closing one eyes is not according to all of the opinions. So some opinions like against it, even if it's some one's wife. So if she is not dressed properly, for example, she does not have her hair covered, so you have to turn away, like complete, not only your face, but complete the body. So or otherwise you're not allowed to say the Kiddush. Okay, so that's right. That's only restrictions when you're not allowed to say the blessing, right? And or other restriction, if you, for example, somebody have small kids and there is a possibility they have all of these surprises lying around, and it's reasonable that they may have they took their diapers without telling you, right? And they're working like that. So your obligation is to check the room. So and why is that? So it's actually it says in the laws of Shema. I mean, it's all these laws are collected in that section laws of the Shema, the saying of the Kriya Shema, right? So it says if it was reasonable to suspect that this room where you prayed would have some impurities, some like offensive smell, some excrement, and you prayed, so this prayer like was in vain, basically, and you have to repeat it because you did not check. But it was not reasonable, for example, for you to suspect there's something impure would be in this room, and you prayed after the prayer you found. There is no problem. You're not obligated to pray again. So it's not whatever you said, even though it was there all the time, but you're not obligated to repeat. So that's the restriction of saying the blessing in a nutshell. Okay.